Okay, this is a video of chapter 1, which is tools for discussion making. Chapter 1 was actually it was pretty good and very informational. So what I got from it is that there are 3 areas of study of philosophy. Number 1 is what is being, and that is ontology. Number 2 is what is knowing, and that is epistemology. And then number 3 is how should one act, and it is ethics. And so, like, as I see it says that, like, the book focuses on how one should act in a particular job setting, and how one should act while working in the job profession. And so, like, based on the Greek word ethos, ethic explores the philosophical foundations of decision making. And then it also says, as we think of mortality, it comes from the Latin word mors, meaning in the way in which people actually behave or act. And so ethics is actually an examination of mortality. And ethics also can be broken down into 3 sub areas. And what I got from that is you have number 1, meta ethics, which is you analyze the meaning of moral language, meaning like you have to it means like the words that we use in like everyday life, like I guess signifies the words, I guess. Then you have a normative ethics, and that kind of like consider the norms that act as a principle of the behavior of of ethics. And then you have applied ethics, and that has something to do with ethical dilemmas, right? So then so it also said something about sometimes a society mortality may be transferred into a law, and a connection can exist between the two, but it's not the same thing or whatnot. And so then also it says something about the code of ethics, and now more and more of the media professions are putting the code of ethics online, so therefore the public can see what's inside of it, and so therefore they'll know which rules not to break and which rules people of the profession know not to break. And media ethics, there are like guidelines, not rules. So like if a person in the profession wants to like break a code of ethics, they wouldn't like lose like a license or anything. They would just be fired, and then maybe it'll be hard for them to find a job later on in life because like they broke a code. But it's not like really harmful. Like it won't really hurt them because like they can still find a job. It would just be harder. And so also we talk about Socrates, and he was like the first one of the philosophy with the ethics thingy. And then he taught Plato. And then Plato taught Aristotle. And so what Socrates believed in is following one's principle and being independent in thought. He didn't write lecture notes. So yeah. But Plato wrote down some of Socrates' notes to help himself out. Oh my god, I'm gonna mess up this word. Philosophical teachings is mainly what Plato wrote down from Socrates. And also I learned that Socrates tried to teach his people that they have to own up to their responsibilities. Because have to own up to their responsibilities for his or her own actions, and that unethical behavior comes from ignorance or a lack of knowledge. So, like, chapter 1 was like pretty much about history, about philosophical ethical codes, and also about like kind of like where it originated from. So kind of like broke down, you know, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and other people. And also I feel like that we use ethical dilemmas every day in life or whatnot. And so yeah, this chapter gave me like a lot of knowledge of the history of ethical decision making. And yeah, and it was pretty interesting to read. So yeah.